What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and just like the screen says, the Frostwyrm Lair is now open. That means this is the newest portion of Naxxramus, and it only has two bosses, Sapphiron and Kel'Thuzad himself.
Come face me, interloper!
In this video, we will be unlocking the lair and facing the first boss, the undead Frostwyrm Sapphiron. This particular battle does have some pretty interesting mechanics. Truthfully, I had no idea what to expect, and so I went in kind of unprepared. Even so, I still managed to defeat it, and I'll show you how.
My massive Frostwyrm awaits! Dress warm.
Okay, so Sapphiron guards Kel'Thuzad's lair eternally, bound by undeath. Then his hero power is called Frost Breath. Destroy all enemy minions that aren't frozen. At first glance, this hero power really had me concerned. I thought to myself, so you're going to have to use spells and hero powers or minions with charge. But to be honest, I didn't know what to expect. So for me, it came down to my hunter or my mage, and I ended up going with hunter. I was hoping that maybe he could handle that frost breath, but I'll be honest, it's not nearly as powerful as you first think. In fact, like all the boss battles, it has some real similarities to the WoW raid. You'll see what I mean right after they're done arranging the bones. And by the way, even that's kind of a nod to Naxxramus in WoW, because I believe when you first encounter Sapphiron, there's a swirling of bones, and then he puts himself together. Or maybe it's Kel'Thuzad that puts them together, but either way, I'm pretty sure that's what happens. Now our opening hand was actually quite good, and I'm going to keep it. We have a 1-drop, a 2, and a 3. Now you may notice something.
Look at that little gnome. He used to be an interloper like yourself.
Now he's a frozen 2/10, and the reason is because he's permanently frozen, but adjacent minions are immune to frost breath. What this means is you can still play minions, but they have to be on either side of him. Now if I would have known that, I would have used a different deck, but now that we've already started with the hunter, we might as well finish. First I'm going to look at our top 3 cards, and then I get to choose one to put in my hand, so let's go with the Scavenging Hyena. The enemy boss is going to use his Frost Breath every single turn because it's 0 mana. But he apparently doesn't have anything else to play this turn, so it's back to us. Now I'm going to play the Haunted Creeper, and that's pretty much to get a minion on the board. Also, if he does happen to kill it, it will summon 2 1/1 Spectral Spiders. Then as you can see, our Creeper isn't affected by Frost Breath, because in essence he's hiding behind the champion. Like I mentioned before, this is very similar to the actual encounter in the WoW raid. Now the enemy does have a shade on the board, and it's a 2/2 that turns into a 3/3 next turn. It does have stealth, so there's not too much we can do about it right now. Against my better judgment, we're going to play our Scavenging Hyena, and hopefully they don't kill it. Sometimes these bosses do ignore your minions, and they go straight for your hero. So that's what I'm hoping happens in this case. After another unsuccessful Frost Breath, the enemy Sapphiron plays a Skeletal Smith. It's a 4/3 with Death Rattle that destroys an enemy's weapon. Oh, and of course the shade killed our hyena. That's pretty unfortunate, but what I'm going to do now is play a Buzzard, and then I'm going to play our Boar that has Charge. And I have to admit, I played this pretty backwards because I attack with our Haunted Creeper. Yes, we killed the shade, but now one of our spiders is unprotected from Frost Breath, and the same thing is going to happen to our Boar. So I should have just played the Stone Tusk Boar and attacked the shade with him. Oh well, it is a first run and it's not going to be perfect. The good news is we are winning, but can it hold up? Just like we knew would happen, the boss does take out both of our unprotected minions. Then unfortunately he attacks our Buzzard as well. Now that's the most upsetting part about that turn. Now on this turn, I don't know what I was thinking either, because I end up playing a Direwolf Alpha, and then I'm going to play a Stone Tusk Boar right beside it. Even though my original plan was to attack the Skeletal Smith with the Boar, I end up using the Spider instead. I guess my only reasoning was I didn't want to waste one extra attack. But hey, hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. Then I have 2 mana left, and since there's now an empty spot on the left side, I'm going to play another Direwolf Alpha over there. So hey, maybe it wasn't such a bad move after all. And here comes that Frost Breath once again. So there goes our Boar. And now they're going to play a Sludge Belcher. It's a 3/5 with Taunt that upon death plays a 1/2 with Taunt. Now the enemy did kill our Direwolf Alpha, but there is a way to take out both of those minions in one hit. The death rattle for that 5/4 opponent says it kills an adjacent minion as well. Now that's what they call 2 birds with 1 stone. Then we can also take out the slime, and our Direwolf Alpha remains alive. So far this is going pretty well for us.
Stop hiding behind that block of ice!
But apparently Kel'Thuzad isn't too happy about it. Next, I'm happy to say we can finally use that Frost Breath to our advantage. We draw a web spinner that says Death Rattle, add a random beast card to your hand. So after playing a Savannah Highmane on the left side, we're going to play a web spinner for the sheer purpose to die the Frost Breath and give us a random beast. Alright, so let's see what this gives us. There goes the web spinner, and in return we get a Core Hound. That's a 9/5, so we'll definitely take that trade. Unfortunately, our Direwolf Alpha is killed, and our Savannah Highmane is frozen. That's definitely not good for us, and they have a pretty decent board going. On this turn I end up drawing an Animal Companion card, but I am worried about using it. I think they randomly place it, so I can't control whether it goes on the left or the right side of the ice block. But the good news is we can play a Houndmaster, and that makes the Savannah Highmane an 8/4 with Taunt. Now we have some protection, and when he dies, we'll get 2 2/2 hyenas. And make no mistakes about it, he's definitely going to die. But at least he's going to take someone with him. And it looks like it's going to be a Dancing Swords. So that means we also get to draw a card. And after the boss kills a few more minions, there's another surprise.
Sapphiron, execute plan, freeze the blood in your veins!
Okay, so a direct hit for 8 damage, and we're frozen. Make sure you're prepared for that one because that could be a game ender. But anyways, now I'm going to try to even things up. We're going to trade a hyena for that 5/1, and then we'll take out their 4/3 with our Houndmaster. Next I'll play a Buzzard, and then a Beast card. A Core Hound is a beast, so now we get to draw a card, and we have a 9/5 on the board. After his Frost Breath, let's see what Sapphiron's going to play. Well, it looks like it's going to be a Blizzard, so that's pretty unfortunate for us. It's going to freeze our Core Hound, and kill our Buzzard. Then he's also going to play a Dancing Swords. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our kill command on it, and then we'll get to draw a card. Unfortunately, I can't attack with our Core Hound, and our Unleash the Hounds will only put out 1 Hound with charge. I just think we better hold on to that one. So instead, let's go ahead and play a Tracking, and hopefully we can get another good card. Well, it looks like we're going to choose our second Animal Companion, and now I guess I'll try to play it. I'll be honest, I'm definitely still concerned on where it's going to place it. So I put it on the left side, and they end up putting it right beside our Core Hound, meaning it will die next turn. Now that's a waste of a good taunt. But still, one steady shot later and it's 19-18. This time Frost Breath claims another victim, and then he's going to use a Cone of Cold, meaning that our Core Hound is frozen once again. This is really getting old, but at least he only has 1 card left in his hand. I'm also getting very tired of that Mana Worm, so we're going to go ahead and hit him with a Hound. Next I'm going to play a Web Spinner and a Steady Shot. I have to say this is turning out to be quite a long match. However, it won't be that much longer if our Core Hound actually gets to attack. Sapphiron's at 16 health, and he's going to play another Shade of Naxxramus. Finally, our Core Hound doesn't get frozen, and we get to attack with them. So let's go ahead and hit for 10 damage, and we'll also use a Steady Shot. Next, I'm also going to play a Haunted Creeper, and that way we can kill our Web Spinner and get a random beast. Unfortunately, I think they're going to kill our Core Hound with the Shade. Still, victory is definitely within our grasp. They only have 4 health remaining. And our random beast ends up being a Silverback Patriarch. That's a 1/4 with Taunt. On this turn, I'm going to use an Animal Companion, then I'm going to use Hunter's Mark, and that will reduce the enemy minion's health from 5 to 1. This will make it easy for a Haunted Creeper to take it out, and then we also have a 4/4 with Taunt, and 2 1/1s. After a Steady Shot, we take Sapphiron down to 2 health. I'm pretty sure that next turn, no matter what, we'll use a Steady Shot, and that's going to be the end. Oh, but he's not done with his freezing. He's going to freeze our 4/4, and he also makes it a 4/1. Plus he has another Pure Cold. I have to admit that's pretty vicious, and luckily we had enough HP. So now we're finally taking down the Frostwyrm with a Steady Shot. And that's going to be the end of this fight. 1 down and 1 to go. Kel'Thuzad is next. That's right, it's going to be the very final boss of Naxxramus.
My dragon! I do not like you.
And by the way, this time the rewards are stepped up. They're both epics. For Sapphiron, you get 2 times Echoing Ooze. It's a 1/2 that has Battle Cry. Summon an exact copy of this minion at the end of the turn. So basically you can set up a bunch of combinations where you buff this card, and then the exact duplicate will also keep any buffs. I'm pretty excited about trying this one out, and it goes in a bunch of different decks. Everything from Priest to Paladin to Druid. But that is going to be it for the first part of the Frostwyrm Lair. Next time we'll be back and facing Kel'Thuzad himself, so make sure you stay tuned for that one, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, good luck and take care.